Each of these shocks, like it creates a domino effect that happens. Energy prices spike, inflation surges, central banks, aka the Fed and other central banks, they have to hike rates to kill inflation, the consumer breaks, and then asset prices like the stock market and real estate end up having to experience some type of repricing. And oil itself acts as a regressive tax. This is an inescapable cost because it forces everyone, regardless of their financial institution or their financial situation, to have to pay more. And then this higher like entry fee, because oil turns into diesel, and diesel powers everything. It's the primary driver for transportation, for heating, for food production, for manufacturing. So an increase at the pump basically increases the price on every physical good or service in the economy. And this effectively shrinks the purchasing power of every dollar in circulation or every American. They have less capital available for services, for growth, for savings. So do you think our listeners, like, everyone is feeling pinched, and now they're feeling even more pinched from this energy? And the problem is that Washington is like double pinching us. So our Washingtonians are feeling even more pinched.
I think that what I remember at the beginning of this, what was it called? It was like called a special excursion. I think now you can't call it that. It's an Iran war. They said that if this gets extended a certain amount of time, and I think they were saying like 2 to 4 months, we got problems. If the oil prices stay up for 2 to 4 months, we have a problem. And right now, I just checked, Brent crude per barrel oil price is $113. I did a year-to-date graph. It's like the highest it's been. And that's kind of like the basis of everything. What I think about, this has nothing to do with the Iran war, but the tariffs. There was a lag for tariffs.
Bingo.
And we were just feeling that lag from tariffs in January. Now we got this Iran war. We've already been feeling it at the pump. But what about the lag effect if it doesn't? So yeah, Iran is losing money like crazy, bleeding out basically in terms of their finances. But the longer they hang on, the longer this lag effect is going to happen. Because this thing, you can't reverse what already happened.
Bingo.
So yeah, oil prices hopefully come back down, but there's a lot of destruction. I know people are feeling the pinch and the pain right now, but my concern is, what about 6 months from now? What about like the end of the year?
That is why I wanted to literally start having this discussion and getting really real about like what happened the last times so that we can be very specific. So in 1973 and 1979, these were basically great resets. The economy was highly efficient, but prices quadrupled and then doubled again in 79. It didn't cause a dip. It basically ended our post-World War II boom. So it like just clipped the economy. Then that caused inflation to hit double digits. Then Volcker comes in, has to Volcker us. And, interest rates go up to double digits. So they had to... The Fed's funds rate basically took us to 20%. They had to do this to save the dollar from being crushed under inflation. So I had Gemini put this together for me. Basically, during the oil embargo in 1973, oil was $12. In today's dollars, that would be 80. In 79, it was 40. In today's dollar, it'd be 159. And remember, 1979, that's the one that led us into that crazy inflation. In 1990, of course, Iraq goes in and invades Kuwait. Prices doubled instantly. The economy was stronger and the war was short. The Fed actually lowered rates after the shock to help the economy recover. So showing that, and the Fed basically, because it was short, they were able to jump in and play the hero in that scenario.